Welcome to the TV tier list. So in my part 1 of this video, the TV tier list, I forgot to mention a whole bunch of TV-headed characters. So before we get into it, be sure to watch that to at least know the criteria of it. But let's start this off with the character named Burnbot. So Burnbot comes from this YouTube series called Brain Dump, and they act by displaying images, and that's basically all they do. But there's one point in particular that I really love, especially the fact that it was the whole reason, I think, for why the character got their own YouTube channel, and it's the fact that there's this scene between Max and Goofball where they argue if Burnbot actually has emotions rather than just being a straight up computer. And I think this is a great philosophical question of should we treat sentient AI with the respect of a human being? And for that, I think I'm gonna have to put Burnbot in B tier. Omega Flowey from Undertale, and this is a goat become flower become TV-headed monster flower thingy, and I really think it's interesting that with their power they call themselves a god, but then they have the face images of Toby Fox, which is the creator of the game that they're in, and so I think that was a really neat tie. And their whole like psychotic and just evil personality really plays into like kind of the creepy images that are being displayed on it, and so for that I'm definitely gonna have to give the character an A tier. Now we have Hex from a Friday Night Funky mod, and I think I like the average basketball personality with like the mix of the demon possession. But I guess what kind of really plays down this character is when they're like possessed by the demon, they're supposed to be intimidating, but then later throughout the mod you get to Daddy Dearest just like saying like it's not that big of a threat, and it really doesn't feel that way, and so it kind of just ruins the character's like intimidating side. So for that I'm gonna give it a C tier. Now we have Melanie from Regretivator, and the character's anxious, kind, athletic, and helpful personality is a very interesting watch. I love that the game does an excellent job with keeping track of all the different characters' interactions, but I was also wondering, does Melanie also count as a protogen since they're part bunny and part TV? Okay, anyways, the tier I was gonna give them was B tier. For this one I was thinking of, it was Painter from the game Pressure, and honestly I think it's a really great character. It's this interesting like frenemy kind of relationship with the character we play as. I think it's interesting that they want to be an artist but are forced to like mine some sort of digital currency, but that makes it kind of understandable to why it wants to be free of like human control rather than just like take over the world kind of usual AI plot point. And then I also think it's interesting that they can overpower another AI within the game known as Navi, which I mean kind of just like doesn't make sense, but yeah, I don't know why that is, but hey, I mean it causes more trouble, and the firewall thing wouldn't have been near as fun without Painter. And then it's also really interesting to think that there's a whole alternative ending when you kill the character just to show how well connected it is with Sebastian. And so yeah, no, I think this character definitely goes in S tier. Here we have Pur03 from the Fooch channel, and I'm just gonna give this character a straight up D tier, and there's not much to talk about. It's just a cat creature but also has a TV head, so yeah, there's just really not that much to it. And also I think this is definitely more of a protogen than Melanie was. Turns out Regrettor Vader not only just gave us one TV-headed character, but two. And you don't often get that, so thank you. Once again, this is the same game that has pretty good character interaction, and we can see this throughout the character Scag. And I love their little like mischievous personality. But it's also interesting to see that they have their own boss fight, and so it's really giving me those Omega Flowey vibes from earlier. I mean, honestly, other than that, it's just okay. I mean, they have a little shop too, but I think I'll just give this character a C tier. You know, I can't even believe that I have to say this one, but here we have the Skibdidi Toilet TV-headed characters, and really, there's not much to them. I mean, they have probably some of the coolest abilities with their TV screen and like teleportation, but it's just brain rot origins, and so it's like, I know this is just gonna have to be F tier. My character goes by the name of Unknown, and basically this character is so powerful that they can destroy the entire multiverse with a snap, but they don't because they just want to have fun, even though the board, which is basically like this sentient dimension, wants them to. And they do this in a way by making deals with other like smaller antagonists throughout the show, and so it's really interesting to see how this is kind of a mix between Mr. Puzzles and like the Joker in a sense. But I did also cover a video of a bunch of other different inspirations for it, and I left a few smaller ones out, but you know, that's basically it. And so it's just the way I imagine this character to be throughout the show would just be super interesting, because not only would its voice always change, but also its art style would always change as well, and I think that would be a really neat touch. So this is definitely gonna have to go S tier. Who's that character? It starts with a V. They come from Roblox. It's Veeronica from Forsaken. Yeah, hopefully you didn't think V from Dandy's World, because I already covered that, and you would have known that if you watched part 1, but ha, in your face. Okay, so Veeronica is like this robot that was originally designed to be a helpful character, but then they kind of just rebelled and become like a skater. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, they have a little like cool skin variety, but that's just kind of how the game works. I'll just give the character a B tier. Here is the finalized version of my tier list. I had to rethink and rearrange some things, but this is exactly where I want to leave it off with. And if you happen to agree or disagree with anything, be sure to comment about it. I'd love to hear your opinions of these characters.